maybe, just maybe, Guardiola's tactics may have been discovered. It may have been discovered because even watching from millions of miles away from that stadium, just through my television, I can just summarize Guardiola's tactics in a nutshell. I can summarize it. Build from the back, hold the ball, push them up front, push them to their post, try to create chances, go from the left flank to the right flank. If nothing happens, bring the ball back home. That is it. Or you lose the ball. That is it. If there is any other tactics you see Manchester City playing, tell me. If not what I've just said, hold the ball, hold it up in their attacking half, try to create chances. If it doesn't work, take it back home. And during that process, they will lose the ball. And then they will not be prone to a quick counter. And as they are up front, trying to press them up high, they are so much vulnerable. In fact, the many times I saw them in the attacking half of Aston Villa, they looked so vulnerable. I was like, Manchester City, are you guys looking at your back? What are you guys playing? A little mistake. Once they give away the ball, it is a counter, a quick counter. They will just launch counter. Aston Villa were supposed to score like 3 to 4 goals. Had it been Thuram scored that second goal, Manchester City would have gone like 2 goals or 3 goals down in this match in the first half. They were looking so much vulnerable without their tactics. Nobody to even secure the back. You're pressing a team like Aston Villa up front, very high on the pitch, and you guys are not concerned about your defensive line. Nothing. Stones went off. Walker entered. It looked as if he was even worse than Stones. Look at that goal from Rodgers. Walker did not mark that ball. Walker was just doing shadow marking in front of. How do you do shadow marking in front of your post? And you were not even blocking the ball properly. You were just standing in front of the player. No attempt to scare the player away. Rodgers was just a gem in this match. Rodgers played everything. He's supposed to be the man of the match. I don't know who received the man of the match. I'm sure it is him. I'm sure he won the man of the match. That guy played that guy owned that midfield. He bossed that midfield. A midfield consisted of Bernardo Silva, Kovacic. Rodgers bossed that midfield. Like, he took that midfield away from Manchester City and they could not do anything. And these guys were very much fast on the counter. Like, they just understood the memo. Sit back, wait for Manchester City. They cannot create. Manchester City has just been clueless when it comes to creating chances. Look at Grealish. What was Grealish doing on that wing? Grealish was just wasteful. Awful performance from him this night. You cannot even dribble. Take on players. Take on your players. Just take on your players. Like, I am just so much disappointed in Manchester City's performance. Like, they were not even looking as if they wanted to win this. Like, watching the match, I just knew nothing can just come out of Manchester City. Nothing could just come out of this match, especially on the side of Manchester City. I knew if goals were going to come from this match, it was just going to come from Aston Villa. And they opened the scoring and went 2 goals ahead in the second half. The 9-minute goal from Manchester City was just a consolation goal. Nothing seems to be working. And the tactics they are playing is not effective enough. It is not. It is easy to defend. Sit back and Manchester City cannot do anything. They cannot find, play the ball into tight spaces. It's very, very difficult for them. Gundogan cannot do it. Kovacic cannot do it. Foden cannot even do it. Manchester City has to change completely. Like, if they want to return back to winning ways, if they want to return back to what they used to be, then they have to change like completely everything. Because it looks like they have been discovered. In fact, I know Manchester City's tactics, and every team and any team that plays this tactics, sit back and hold them on the counter, will grab a win against Manchester City, grab some points. Sit back and take your chances on the counter. You are going to win Manchester City, or at least draw them. Sit back and hold them on the counter. That is just the medicine to Manchester City's tactics. And this thing, I noticed it after the match. In that match against Arsenal, that 2-2 draw, that was when this tactic started. Every team realized that if you sit back against Manchester City, you could stop them from being so much effective. After that match, teams started taking advantage of that. I think Newcastle, got some points against Manchester City after that match, and that was the same tactics they played. I think it's Newcastle. Just sit back, hold them on the counter, be sharp on the counter, take your chances, and you will grab points against Manchester City. Seriously, Guardiola, you need to return back to the drawing board. Not even return, change the drawing board, buy a new drawing board, and start again. Start afresh, because it is not working. The tactics, even I, that is not a coach, that is inexperienced, I can see what you're doing. I can see what you're doing. Talk more of your co-professional coaches. They have seen what you're doing, the tactics, and you're not even changing it. The same tactics you played against Tottenham in your first loss 2-1, when you started this awful run. That's the same tactics you're still playing up to this moment. Seriously, something has to change. Thank you.